So a lot of narcissistic men and women are raised by narcissistic parents. And if you're new here, I have narcissistic personality disorder. The narcissistic man that's raised by a narcissistic mom tends to grow up and treat women terribly because, nothing that you do for a narcissist is good enough. So when you are a narcissistic, like when you are a little boy and you grow up and you try to impress your mom and nothing is good enough for that person, you grow up to have a disdain for women, thinking that nothing you do for a woman will ever be good enough for that woman. So you tend to treat women badly because the one woman in your life that you needed validation and approval from, you never got. And the opposite is true with women as well. So when women are raised by narcissistic fathers, they tend to grow up and treat men terribly. And yes, women narcissists do exist, y'all. And typically the cycle continues because as a narcissist grows up and matures into adulthood, nothing their significant other does for them will ever be good enough. Nothing their kids do will ever be good enough. So the cycle continues. I hope this helps. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of A Narcissist Explains. I am self-aware diagnosed narcissist Lee Hammock, and I use my platform on social media to raise awareness for mental health disorders like narcissistic personality disorder, get more people into therapy on all sides of the dynamic, victims, survivors, narcissists, borderlines, ASPDs, all that other good stuff. And also, while doing all of that, I got broad shoulders. You see how broad my shoulders are? I'm doing all of that. I'm carrying this on my shoulders right now. I validated victims and survivors of said disorder. This series is where I just take my TikToks and YouTube shorts and make them longer. So the one you just watched was about narcissistic parents. Good old narcissistic parents. Because I know a lot of the stuff that I do is about the dynamic of that, the dynamic of the relationship, a relationship with a narcissist. Because that's the easiest thing to talk about. Because that's one of the most prevalent things that are talked about. My narcissistic ex-boyfriend, my narcissistic ex-husband, my wife is a narcissist, was a narcissist. My ex she was out of her dang on mind narcissistic. That's the easiest thing to talk about. But because in that dynamic, a lot of times, kids are created. And the narcissistic parents are some of the worst people on the planet. The narcissistic fathers will literally, narcissistic moms are a little bit differently. We're going to talk about the narcissistic dads first. Narcissistic dads literally will abandon their kids, will literally leave them with the mom because they feel to punish the mom. Because it's hard for a narcissist, it's hard as a narcissistic person to see their kids as individuals and not just as reflections of themselves, not just as reflections as a narcissist. So as long as the kid is being a good reflection, the mirror that the kid is holding up to the narcissist is a good mirror, they're fine. They typically are good with the kids. But if they don't like what they see in that mirror, they disown the kids. They treat those kids terribly. Those kids become the scapegoats. Those kids become the burden, receive the worst treatment from the narcissist. If there's multiple kids and that the narcissist likes what they see in that mirror, they're like, this mirror is reflecting me perfectly. That's the golden child. That's the child that's going to get everything. All the praise heaped upon them. All the love and adoration. All the support. All the money. The financials. The one-on-ones with the parent. The one-on-ones with the dad. Or the mom. That's be a mom too. They're going to get all of that. They're going to just get the best of everything. And that can create a dynamic in the relationship with the siblings that the scapegoat kid is going to feel way underappreciated and probably can become jealous of the golden child kid. And I got confused in the words a little bit. The golden child kid, and they can create a dynamic where the siblings don't like each other because the dad is treating the one kid better than the other kid. The golden child, the scapegoat, all the other good stuff. So the golden child, you get raised up and you get the gifts and the scapegoat gets the scraps and things like that. Now with the narcissistic mom, the dynamic typically can remain the same as well because you see it build up, y'all. You literally see it build up. You see it change. You see it go like that way. One of my good friends, Lily, she has a very, very narcissistic mom, and the narcissistic moms tend to see their daughters as competition. And I know everybody. Let me really back in. Not everybody that's raised by a narcissist becomes a narcissist, y'all. Some people become empaths, some people become codependent, some people become borderline, some people become psychopaths, all that other good stuff. But everybody turns out differently. Everybody responds to the same stimulus differently. You may. putting heat, like the same pressure that you apply to a piece of coal turns it into a diamond, but that pressure right there will explode a human being. You know what I mean? So that's how it works. But back to narcissistic mom. The narcissistic mom tends to see that daughter as competition sometimes, especially if y'all look alike, because they want to hold you back, because they want to keep you back. They want to make it seem like you're sick. I've seen so many of these. They are so jealous, and they want to make you dependent upon them a lot of times too. They'll give you gifts and stuff like that, and make sure that you know that you have to appreciate that gift. Like, hey, I gave you this gift right here. This is from me. I need you to know that you owe me for this gift. You owe me for the being born. You owe me for, you need to take care of me when I get older. You need to take care of me because I took care of you growing up. You owe me. I'm your mama. This is that. You should be thankful that I brought you into this earth. I carried you for 9 months, gave birth to you, raised you. You owe me your life, pretty much. And they'll disown kids as well. The kids that they are super jealous of, they'll disown them. But they'll keep you around, but they'll disown you as well. And they'll keep you around, and you'll be in the household. You just get treated terribly. My mom hated me growing up. My mom beat me mercilessly growing up. My mom used to beat me for no reason growing up. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about just stuff in general. So yeah, that does happen a lot right there. So you see the mindset, you see the dynamic, how it goes and things like that. So when you are dealing with a narcissist, that's the best way to go about things, is to do it just like that. Protect your peace. Like narcissistic parents, it's hard, and people wonder, like, how do I deal with them? You either have to deal with them from a distance and protect your peace, and when you grow up, make sure you don't have to rely on them financially, because if you are dependent upon a narcissistic parent financially when you grow up, you are pretty much trapped, because they're going to make sure you know it too. Make sure you know I gave you this to you. Make sure, and nothing you do will be good enough. Nothing you do for a narcissistic parent, male or female, will ever be good enough. You just won't. I got a 99 on my test. What happened to 100? We get hundreds in this household. I got a 97 on my test. That's not still not 100. I got an A plus. What's the real grade though? 98. Not 100. Not good enough. I scored 2 touchdowns when you dropped that pass in the third quarter. I hit 2 goals. I got 2 goals in soccer, but like you allowed a goal too. So you see, it's never be good enough. Narcissistic parents condition you that nothing you do in life will be good enough. Nothing you will rarely ever hear, "I'm proud of you." And a lot of people that grow up, they want to hear that statement right there. I just want to know that they're proud of me. I just want to know that they're proud of me. And that creates the complexes, because typically sometimes you grow up with a narcissistic parent. That's the form of love that you know. So, and subconsciously, you seek that out in a significant other. So if you have a narcissistic dad, you sometimes end up with a narcissistic person, narcissistic husband or boyfriend, because that's what you know to be, that's what you think is love. That's what you think is appreciation. You have a narcissistic mom, you end up with someone like that because that's what you think is love. That's what you think is appreciation. So protect your peace when you're growing up with a narcissistic parent, because there's a lot of stuff you have to work through. You need to go to therapy as well. And sometimes, like, going no contact with a narcissistic parent can be the best thing for you. And I know it's hard to cut your parent off, and people, your friends and your friends and your family won't understand, because a lot of them wasn't raised by that same parent. They'll be like, "Look, that's your mom. Hey, look, that's your dad. You only get one. I wish I had my mom or dad around. You gonna cut them off? Wow, you must be a really terrible person to cut your mom off." And your mom would let you know that. Your dad would let you know that as well, because like it might not be peaceful, but it will bring you peace. Decide what brings you the most peace. Because I know a lot of people talk about these relationships with the parental the dynamic, the relationship dynamic. You know what I mean? To protect your peace. And a lot of times you grow up in a narcissistic household, one parent is a narcissist, the other parent might be an enabler or codependent or an empath. And you see that dynamic growing up, and you fall into that same dynamic when you grow up. That's why I say, if you are dealing with a narcissist now and you have kids, imagine your kids being with somebody just like you. Imagine your kids refusing to leave somebody just like you did. Imagine your kids refusing to better themselves, just like you didn't. And use your mind. I'm telling you, it's a tough road. It's a tough road ahead. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in for another episode. I really, truly appreciate every single one of y'all. Like and subscribe for more. Mental Illness is out. Peace.